In today's episode, Melissa asks, what content works best for moving prospects from the awareness stage and turning them into the leads for middle of the funnel? So, middle of the funnel marketing, if you're unfamiliar, is you've gotten past who are you, right? But you're not quite to let me sell you something. And the question here is contingent. Well, the answer is contingent on what kinds of prospects you've got, because there are different types of prospects and different needs that each of those prospects have. And prospects at the middle of the funnel are some of the trickiest to solve because they don't all have the same needs. And so you need different kinds of content, different kinds of processes and procedures and marketing automation tasks and such to get them to close. And there's 4 fundamental kinds of content at the middle of the funnel. And they kind of work on a spectrum. If you think about it, a lot of the middle of the funnel is sort of in-house SEO of sorts, where you're trying to understand the different things people are looking for and be able to answer them. So there's 4 categories. Number 1 is what I call branded demand content. Branded demand content is when someone has gotten to the middle of the funnel because they are looking for you by name, right? They have done a brand search. They have come in through your social media accounts or one of your ads. Whatever the case is, the prospect is saying, hey, I've got a problem and I need your help. So like in my case, someone who's at this stage would have come to Trust Insights searching specifically for Trust Insights by name, or searching for me personally by name. So that's category 1. You need content that addresses that, like why is Trust Insights the right choice for your marketing analytics consulting? And we can dive into the whole motivations and things and stuff of people at that stage. But for now, let's just say you need some content that addresses the question of who is coming to you by name, who's in the middle of the funnel by name, and you need them to convert. Second is, obviously, if you have branded content, you have unbranded content, right? This is where a prospect is saying, I have a problem and I need somebody's help, right? They know what the problem is, but they don't know that you have the answer to that problem. They're saying, hey, my Google Analytics is totally hosed. And this is where a lot of help content comes in. You give away some of the recipes or some of the ideas or some of the tactics, and that in turn helps people go, oh, okay, you clearly have expertise at doing this. So after they read your article and they realize they have no chance whatsoever of doing whatever it is that you're describing, they ask you for help. All right, so that's unbranded content. I have a problem and I need someone's help, but not necessarily you by name. And we see a lot of that, obviously, in existing SEO tactics, branded and unbranded search. The next stage in this sort of content demand spectrum is related demand. So people say, I have a problem. I might also have your problem. So a real simple example for this would be, let's say you run a coffee shop, right? And you have content about espresso, and somebody's looking for a latte, right? A latte and espresso are logically related. And so you need content that addresses, hey, we've also got this. Or if you have this problem, you might also have this problem. If you're, say, a plumbing business, if this thing is leaking, chances are it's because of this thing, right? Very clear connections between these things. And again, from an SEO perspective, we see this happen a lot with things like topics, right? Someone may be searching for help on a specific topic, but there could be a bucket full of different words and phrases and content that would fit inside that bucket. Your roof is leaking, or water damage, and fixing paint, and looking for structural problems, and rust on pipes. There's any number of related things that occur there that, again, is the type of content you would want to have to try and bring out that kind of demand. That's closer to the top of the funnel, right? So that content is not as good for middle of the funnel, but for that, maybe the transition stage is not bad. And then my favorite is diagnostic content. And this is where somebody has past awareness, right? They know that there's a problem. They're on your blog or your social channels or whatever, and they're saying, I think I might have a problem. but I'm not sure if I have a problem. And the reason this is a favorite of mine is because there is little that reassures somebody more in the beginning than you being able to help them understand the problem that they have and being able to provide expert guidance. And may not even be the solution for their problem, but you point them to the solution for the problem, so you have an opportunity to be helpful. This is things like, diagnosing why is my website traffic down? Why can't I reheat coffee in the microwave? Why can't I get this device to work as promised? Diagnostic content is amazingly powerful at that middle of the funnel stuff, because again, you're taking advantage of demand that may be there, but if your competitors are focused on one very specific kind of demand content, this is a way to kind of work around them, to look logically at the problems that people have and figure out, how do you help them solve that problem? How do you help them understand that problem in a way that is beneficial to them? Now, you could spend a lot of time on formats, white papers, webinars, ebooks, all this stuff. But if the content is not themed correctly based on that demand spectrum, none of it matters, right? If you have an audience that in the middle of the funnel, they're going, hey, I have this problem and I need anybody's help, and you're all creating content about how awesome our brand is, you're going to get no results, right? Because the audience isn't there. So how do you know which kind of demand you're facing? Well, as I mentioned a few times, you're looking at this data, and you can extract a lot of this data from search techniques and social media conversations you have with people, and surveys and emails to your audience, looking in your customer service inbox. Do your best to take any of those types of data and bucket them into one of these four categories. Literally take the top 100 or 200 emails randomly sampled, and categorize them, branded, unbranded, related, diagnostic. And in doing so, you'll be able to get a sense of where your audience is. If your audience is never searching for you by name and never inquiring or mentioning your name in social media conversations, guess what? Branded demand content probably is not a priority. You should have some eventually, but if everything is in your customer service inbox or in your contact forms on your website is all diagnostic, like, hey, is this something that you can help with? Do you know anything about this? Can you recommend anyone? Is this really a problem? What should I do? Then you need to spend your time on creating diagnostic content, checklists, quizzes, video how-tos, all those kinds of things that address that specific type of content for demand. So there is no one type of content that works best. You've got to do your research. You've got to do your own analysis of your data to make that determination, and then create content that answers those things. It's the most straightforward way to get to that. Really good question. Leave your comments in the leave your follow-up in the comments box below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and the newsletter. I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.